Jake here for American Muscle, and today I'm taking a look at the Corsa Performance Xtreme Axle-Back exhaust with quad polished tips fitting 2016 and newer 6.2 liter Camaros. If you're on the hunt for some raucous sound and a high quality exhaust system, then this setup from Corsa is going to be just what you're looking for. It features high quality materials and some really neat technology to help keep away drone. And this one is going to give you all the noise that you want with no drawbacks. Now, there is no getting around it, as the name implies. This one is going to be loud enough to merit a 4 out of 5 on our loudness meter, so it might wake your neighbors up here. Don't say we didn't warn you. But if you want that volume and a really good tone out of your exhaust, then Corsa has got you covered. Now, like me, you might have been a little bit surprised at how much noise this thing actually makes. Despite being an axle-back, it's got quite a lot of volume to it. And that's because this is Corsa's extreme level, meaning that you're gonna get a lot more sound versus stock. And as the name implies, and as you heard again from those clips at the beginning of the video, this one has a lot of bark to it. It's much, much louder than your stock exhaust or even Corsa's own Sport series. But it's gonna give the Camaro's LS a bit more of that trademark small block, deep burble at idle, and it really lets it scream when you lay into it, so it's a great sound. You might even get some barks on upshifts, a couple of pops on downshifts too, or on the overrun. Now, of course, more volume outside means more volume inside, and this is gonna get you more volume than your standard exhaust because of its design. So the sound is gonna be noticeable inside the cabin. However, you're not gonna get any drone with this system. Now, Corsa has packed these mufflers with their RSC or Reflective Sound Cancelling Technology inside. Now, this technology has been around and it's been used by Corsa since 1998. And what it does is it utilizes different specially designed channels within the mufflers for each vehicle. So it's designed to eliminate the frequencies that cause that head pounding drone that you can get with some other aftermarket systems. However, it doesn't mute the sound. So you're gonna get that really pleasant tone and a lot more additional volume without the literal headache. Now, these mufflers also offer you a 9% increase in airflow and a 5-pound weight savings versus your stock mufflers. So you're gonna get better exhaust flow and less weight to lug around, which both things should make for an improvement in your driving experience. This is also a twin tip design, as you've probably picked up on, meaning that it's gonna look a bit similar to your factory exhaust, although just a little bit different. Now, these are gonna fit into the cutouts of your lower rear valence. You've got these nice staggered slash cut tips here with a really nice polished finish to them. However, I wanna make it a point to say here that if your car is equipped with the factory ground effects package, these tips are not gonna fit that. However, that's a perfect excuse to get a different rear valence, and we've got some cool options available on the site for that. Construction is the other big highlight here, as the whole system is made from high quality T304 stainless steel. And as is the usual with Corsa stuff, it's apparent how nice it is as soon as you take it out of the box. Everything's got a nice finish to it, the welds look good here, the piping is 2.75 inches in diameter, and everything is mandrel-bent, so there's no weird crinkles or anything like that in there. Overall, it's just a really nice looking exhaust. The tips that we were talking about a moment ago are again a dual wall T304 stainless design. They've got a really nice polished finish to them with the Corsa logo etched on the edges too. And since this is all T304, that means that all of it's gonna stand up very well to the elements, and it should resist rust and corrosion pretty well too. Pricing for this one is gonna come in at about $1,900, and not pulling any punches here, that makes it a pretty pricey setup. However, you're getting really great construction, some really premium materials, and a great sound. However, if you want a no compromise setup for your Camaro, this is gonna be one that's worth spending the money on because you get that high quality material, the premium setup here, and the really nice sound too. Installation gets a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and you should expect this job to take you about 3 hours to complete. Now, it's a little bit longer than some other exhausts that we might have on the site because, as is the case with the Camaro, you are going to have to cut off your factory mufflers, as they are not a bolt-on design out of the gate. Chevy didn't design it that way. However, it is only 2 cuts, one on each side to take the stock mufflers off, and then these new Corsa units are going to slide right up and clamp on to make the install as simple as possible, and you get the 4 clamps you need included in the kit as well. So with that, let's head out to the shop and we'll walk you through the process.
For this install, you will need an impact, a ratchet, 13mm, shallow and deep 15mm sockets, 8mm ratchet wrench, hanger removal tool, lubricant, a Sharpie, a Sawzall or cutting tool of your choice. Also not shown here is a pole jack or a jack and jack stands. What's up guys? Today we're going to be doing an exhaust on our Camaro, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a short video on how to uninstall your factory setup, as well as cut off your factory muffler, and then we'll see you when you get back.
So our first step to removing our exhaust is going to be to disconnect our valves. Now these are going to be found on the outside of each side tip. So we'll get the harness, press the tab, and disconnect them. So now our first step is going to be to disconnect the wiring harness to our valve controller. So to do that, we're going to remove these 2 7mm bolts to clear up some access. You're going to have to take these out later on eventually because we're going to have to slide our exhaust back this way, and the valves are going to slide under this. So I'll get a 7mm socket to get these off. Then we can push that back out of the way and then reach in there and disconnect our wire harness. And then we'll do that same thing on the other side. So the factory exhaust system has 6 hangers. We have 2 here, 2 here, and then 2 by our tips. So we're gonna remove the inner 4 here. That way we can still have our 2 hangers in the back holding our exhaust up while we disconnect our flanges up front. So we can get the 2 on our passenger side first. So I'll grab an exhaust hanger remover tool and pop off these isolators. And then on this one, the hanger on our pipe's a little longer than the one from our chassis. So we'll pop off our top isolator, and then we can pop it off at the bottom and slide it back on the top. Now we can do the same thing on our driver's side. Now our next step is to remove our brace here. We have 5 13mm bolts holding that in. So I'll get a 13mm socket on an impact gun to get these off. Now our next step is going to be to disconnect our O2 sensors on both sides. Now you can do this either by unscrewing the O2 sensor or simply just unplugging the harness. We're going to unplug the harness. So there's a white tab that you're going to push up and then push in, and then it will separate our connector. So we'll take our white tab, push up on it, and then we can press down and slide our connector out. Now this side's going to be the same thing, just a little deeper in there. Pull back on that tab, and then disconnect our connector. So now we can work on our 2 flanges. We'll get those disconnected with a 15mm socket. I've got a pole jack here to hold the exhaust in place so it doesn't drop down once we disconnect it. And then once we have our 2 flanges disconnected, we'll grab a buddy to help us pull the whole exhaust out of the car. So now on this side, we don't have much clearance, so I'm gonna get a 15mm socket with a ratchet on this side, and then we can use our impact gun on this side. So I've got some penetrating lubricant I sprayed on here just to make it a little bit easier to get these off. Now on this side, we can use a 15mm socket on an impact gun to loosen this clamp. So now I have a pole jack set up underneath our muffler to keep it in place. And then we're going to be removing the 2 bolts on our hanger on both sides to release the muffler. So now we can take a 15mm socket on a ratchet to get our 2 nuts off. And then we'll do that same thing on the other side. So now would be a good time to grab yourself a buddy, and you can take one end while your buddy takes the others, and then we'll just simply slide it out and remove it from the car. So now with the exhaust removed from our car, we can take our valves off. Now we'll be using a 5/16 inch ratcheting wrench to remove this. And then we can repeat that same process on the other side. And now we can remove our final 2 hangers on our stock exhaust using an exhaust hanger remover tool. So now with our stock exhaust removed, we're going to come to right behind the rear muffler where we're going to make our cut for our new exhaust. So now we can grab our tape measure and a marker, and we're going to measure out 8 inches from the rear muffler back. 8 inches puts us right here, so we'll make our line. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Measure out our 8 inches and mark our spot. So now with our measurements made and our cut lines in place, you can grab yourself a Sawzall or your cutting apparatus of choice and a pair of safety glasses, and we can make our cuts. And now that we have our exhaust flipped over to the other side, to make it a little bit easier to cut, we can make our cut on our other pipe. So now with our cuts made, we're going to take a wire wheel to clean up our edges a little. So now with our exhaust cut and our edges cleaned up, now's a good time to grab yourself a buddy to help you line up the secondary cats in the front while you get the hangers into the isolators. Now we'll reinstall our 2 15mm nuts on our passenger side secondary cat. Now we'll take a 15mm socket, going back and forth, tightening these down to put even pressure on our flange. And then we'll take a 15mm socket to tighten down the clamp on our driver's side. And now we can reconnect our O2 sensor harness. So we're going to slide that up out of the way so that it doesn't hang on anything hot or moving. And then we'll just click it in like that. And now we can reinstall our brace with our 5 13mm bolts. And then we'll just make sure all of our holes are centered. And then take our 13mm socket to tighten these bolts down.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we've shown you how to prep everything in your factory setup, as far as removing it, cutting it to length, and getting your midsection back on, we can go ahead and install our new mufflers now. So we're going to go ahead and grab our provided clamp, slide that over our slip joint first. We're going to go ahead and slip that onto our factory section here. This may be a bit of a tight fit at first for you. Go ahead and work that into place. It's okay if this does slide back. Go ahead and get that on. Then we can go ahead and get our hanger into our isolator, and we've gone ahead and lubricated that. Highly recommended, as it will make your life easier. Go Get this over into position, pop that on. Make sure this is pretty straight. Then we can go ahead on with our tip section. So now for our tips, we'll go ahead and install our isolator onto our new hanger here first. Get that into position. Then we'll grab another provided clamp and slide that on. We can go ahead and get this up into place. You want to make sure your hanger bracket is behind your diffuser. And we can go ahead and slip this on to our muffler section. Go ahead and get that seated. So now we can go ahead and get our factory isolator bracket back onto its original mounting studs, just like so. And we can go ahead and reinstall our factory 15mm nuts. We'll go ahead and get our other one on. Now that we have everything loosely in place, we'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other side before we tighten anything down. Now we'll go ahead and take our 15mm socket on our ratchet and tighten down our isolator nuts. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. So next we can go ahead and make sure our muffler section is sitting where we want it. It's not hitting anything, it's not going to rattle, and it's pretty flush with the bottom of the vehicle so nothing's poking out to get caught on anything. Then we'll come to our clamp here, grab our 15mm socket on our impact, and tighten this one down. Now after double checking that our tips are where we want them to be, we'll go ahead and tighten down this clamp again with our 15mm socket. Now once we have that done, we can go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. So now that we have everything buttoned up, there's one thing left to do. Now our car in particular does have the active exhaust system, and if yours does too, there's a couple ways to go about making sure you don't throw a check engine light, as this system does not come with a bracket for the active exhaust motors. So what you can do is get a tuner or something like that to program this system to be off so the vehicle isn't trying to read it. Or you can do it the easy way. For demonstration purposes, we're going to go the easy route, and we're going to simply plug our motors back in, just like so. Then we're just going to secure them up out of the way over here. Now we're simply going to zip tie ours. You can secure yours however you'd like. It's really nothing too crazy. But this is going to keep your vehicle thinking that your active exhaust system is, in fact, active. And once we zip tie this up, we'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our Corsa Performance Xtreme Axle-Back exhaust with quad polished tips for 16 to 23 6.2 liter Camaro. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Camaro, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.